I got a speeding ticket within my first 30 minutes of being home. I don't know what was going on. I disregarded everything. But there are no red lights in Iraq. There's no yield, there's no stop, there's whatever you want to do, whatever you have to do, get pulled over. I forget what I was doing, just call it 70 and a 45. He's like, what the f are you doing?
You know, when you started to get into the obsession and you were really like deep into it, like it was just everything. The switch was on. You know, we talked about the switch earlier today, but the switch was on at all times, 100% of the time. When you was in those training moments, and maybe, you know, one of your brothers beside you got shot with a paintball, or you got shot with a paintball, what was that like when you were really fully switched on? Like, did it mean something to you to see someone get hit, or you get hit, or?
Not like that. A lot of it was a realization, like some of the stuff we talk about now, is people take the paint rounds, the training rounds, like they're paintballs. Brush it off, I'll wash my pants. It's not how it is in reality. And for the people that haven't seen it, you have to educate them. It's like, yeah, it's a pretty good run. Like, anybody get hit? Yeah, I got shot twice. I got shot, you got shot. 6 dudes took rounds? Where? Oh, I took one through the elbow, took one to the thigh, took one high in the hip. Let's talk about that. Actually looks like you just took an AK-47 from 12 feet in the crook of your arm. The chances you ever bending that arm again, 1,000,000 to 1. Chances you ever deploying again, 1,000,000 to 1. Like, dishes are done with you, my friend. Like, you're not just brushing that off. It's like you just got shot high in the femur. Like, femur shattered, you're not moving. Take 3 guys to carry you. You're 260. Takes 3 guys to carry you now. 3 guys out of the fight. The whole thing just starts to compound on itself. It's like, now think about you actually coming back. See, you make a full recovery. How are you going to be holding up mentally? Not very good. The last time you did this thing, you got shot with an AK round, almost died. It's a very hard thing to come back from. You ask the guys that have been shot, like Craig Head and some of these guys, it's a hard thing to come back from. It's no different than a parachute malfunction. As soon as you have a bad cutaway, get right back up and do another one. If not, you're just going to sit there and relive that memory over and over and over again. Train's the same way. You make it the same way, and we'd spin up on some of these training ops, and they're sketchy. They're really sketchy. And you're trying to solve the problem. You're like, I don't see a way of us making this. It's like, now you have to sit there with that realization, just play it over in your mind. You're like, there's got to be a way. Got to be a way. Got to be faster. Got to be this. Got to be that. And you start to just chew away at the problem over and over. But it is like, you come home, and I mean, I've taken paint rounds in the face before, and you come home and you've got some big burr, some big gash on the side of your face, and wife's like, what happened? Like, I took a paint round. Then you're in there thinking about the reality of it. I'm not coming home from that one. I'm not. The role players play a very realistic role, and that dude would have shot me right in the face. And I trained my ass off. Just, it's the nature of the beast, man. When you get grown people that are pointing machine guns at each other, shooting in close proximity, the chance of you getting hit are pretty high. Like, all the little pieces have to come in to make that job as safe as possible, and it's going to be very unconventional. Don't be running around with your boots bloused. It's not the way it's going to be. And I think that was the importance of the training. Like, once you saw it, like once you got there and you saw the older guys, the more senior guys, and you saw their routine, you saw what they did, it was so methodical. Everything they did, the methodology behind training was so different than I had ever seen before. And it only made sense when you heard it. You're like, okay, yeah. Yeah, they're not training to shoot paper targets. They're not. They're taking in all the environmentals of who that person is, how many kids they have. It really did. It became hunting is what it became. And it's like, you have to treat it like it's the most dangerous game you'll ever play, because it is. It's like the quote from Hemingway. It's what it is, man. The hunting of man. You hunt armed men long enough and enjoy it, you'll never care for anything else thereafter. That's the truth. There's a lot of pressure on you to do it over and over again. My hardest thing was coming back and convincing her that it wasn't going to happen to me. Because once you've lived through it once, and she's already a Gold Star wife, she's already lived through this nightmare. And I just keep deploying over and over and over. And, she hears the wives talk. They do. That's some of the downfall of it, is one of your buddies will come home and they'll share with his wife some super close call. She tells your wife, she's like, how's DJ holding up? Like, what? She's like, oh, I heard about this. And she's like, I didn't hear about that. Next thing you know, the whole thing. Why didn't you tell me? Nothing to tell you. Why would I tell you that? Try to worry you? No, you tell her it's dead. There's nothing going on here. It's boring. You're still going out. You just don't tell her. Like, if you're going to get a bad phone call, I want it to come out of nowhere. Not, hey, we're going out every night. It's the best time of my whole life. Oh my God. Because then she's expecting it. Dead. Bad weather. We're not doing anything. Blah, blah, blah. Still lose bad internet connections. What most guys do. That's what I did. Okay, I'm not going to talk to you for a couple of days. Satellite's shit here. So if you don't hear it, don't worry about it. It's not the reality. Just what you tell them, so you don't have to have this weird conversation on the phone trying to talk them off a ledge. Because it's nerve-wracking for them.
Would you say that kind of thing, like, it's bad communications when you knew you was doing tougher stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you got on a run where you think you were going out every day and it's like progressively getting more dangerous and more dangerous, don't tell them that. They don't need to know that. You know, I mean, you're supposed to not communicate anyway, but that's just not reality. I mean, if you're going to be out working, you tell them, like, I'm going to be gone for a couple of days working. You genuinely just don't share that information because you don't want them stressed out. They got to manage the house. They've got kids. They got jobs. They got other commitments. And the last thing they need is to spend 23 hours a day focused on you. Like, you're a million miles away. But it's hard, though, especially when you do want to talk or when you can't talk. Some of the stuff you want to talk about, you can't share with the boys. Who are you going to share it with? Nobody. You just isolate, and it's never a good recipe.
I told you guys that I was doing the world's heaviest marathon, and I achieved it. It was 28 miles with 100 kilos on my back, 220 pounds. Then over the next 10 days, I ran an average of 40 miles per day with a 55-pound stone on my back. We achieved it. Along the way, I've had some real physical difficulties and mental battles, and friends have picked me up, including the amazing Brass Monkey. Brass Monkey is the premium ice bath and ice plunge around the world. They are the best of the best. They reached out to me and said they wanted to help on my goal, and they've donated a 24,000 pound ice bath. It is the top of the line, and I couldn't thank them enough. So what do we do with the ice bath? Well, first of all, it's helped me in training. But second of all, we want to donate it to one of you. So if you want to win the ice bath, which is worth over £24,000 and is the best in the world, all you have to do is donate £5 to the link in my bio at the Brass Monkey giveaway. Every £5 donation gets you an entry into the ice bath. And I promise you, this thing will change your life. I'm so sad to be letting go of the Brass Monkey ice bath. It is the best thing I've ever used for cold therapy. Thank you to Brass Monkey. The mission is complete, but the fundraising mission is still not complete. And I'm urging you guys to help us achieve this. I really, really want to be able to provide going forward indefinitely for parents who need headstones for their babies. Links down below.
So, I mean, the first adjustment back to civilian life, you know, like when you came back, had the obsession with the safety element of, you know, trying to stay safe, doing absolutely everything that you could in your training, had that kicked in after the first deployment? No. So that took a few. So what was your first experience coming back to civilian life?
I got a speeding ticket within my first 30 minutes of being home. I pulled out of the team. I took a left. We were all going to go. I didn't drink I used to drink Corona back in the day on a fake ID. And all I wanted was a Corona with the boys at a certain bar we have down the road. I was like, that's all I want. So we went to Germany for a couple weeks. Like, get a beer. I'm like, nope. I'm waiting till we get stateside, get a Corona. I'll be good. That's all I wanted. I pulled out of the team, took a left, and started hauling ass down the road. And I don't know what was going on. I disregarded everything. And maybe that's just an immaturity thing. But there are no red lights in Iraq. There's no yield. There's no stop. There's whatever you want to do, whatever you have to do. If cars are in your way, you push them off the road. If they're not pushing off the road, you put them off the road, right? So for me, I came around and cars are braking. I'm in the median and like I'm blowing through. It's a hard stop at a red, and I blow through the red light. And before I know it, I mean, I've only gone 3 miles, get pulled over. I forget what I was doing. Just call it 70 and a 45. He's like, "What the f are you doing?" I'm not going to make an excuse to you right now. I'm just going to tell you I just came off a plane from Iraq 30 minutes ago, and it's my first time driving in the last 6 months on a road with actual lights on it. I apologize. And if I remember correctly, he was a former Marine, and he cut me some slack and let me go, and he's like, "We are not in Iraq anymore, dude. Like, you got to be able to power it down." I mean, I remember just sitting there, like, just taking in all the noise and all the people and all the bullshit, and you kind of just look back at them and you hear what they're talking about, you see what they're talking about, and it's hard to relate to them. Like, it's hard for me to sit back here and hear you complain about that when you have no idea what's happening overseas. I'm not even talking about the Iraqi people. I'm talking about Marines that are just getting decimated right now, so you can sit here and talk shit about our president. Like, for me, it infuriated me. Like, it doesn't matter who's in the office right now. We're in that country right now, and they're actively trying to kill us all, and we're only here so you can sit here and talk that nonsense. Like, I don't know, for me, it made me super proud to be a patriot. Like, I think when I came back from that, I was really bitten by the bug. Like, I've never been more proud to be a patriot than after I came back from that first tour, because then I saw it. I saw how far people would go for freedom. Like, there were some people that stopped what they were doing and joined the military who had no business joining the military. Some super high level people with some really diverse educations that could have made a shit ton of money, stopped what they were doing and joined the Army, joined the Marine Corps, joined the Navy to go serve. And I thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. You get to meet him when you're over there. A normal dude just sitting next to you, and you're like, you did what? He's like, oh yeah, I did blah, 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 Microsoft, this and that, like VP of so-and-so. What are you doing here? He's like, I couldn't sit back. He's like, my father didn't serve, my grandfather didn't serve. He's like, I am not about to sit back here and let my kids fight this war. I'm not doing that. Okay. He like really set it back in balance, like how far people are willing to go. No, for me, it was a huge honor. I'd say it to everybody. Like, don't thank me for my service. Like, I would have done that shit for free. I loved it. I still do.
What was was there a bigger investment in the patriotism? Like, was it 9/11? Was there a specific situation that happened?
Yeah, 9/11 for everybody. I mean, like, when that thing happened, anybody who wasn't beating that war drum immediately just got cast aside. Like, if you're not wearing an American flag, if you're not rocking one off the front of your porch right now, like, what is wrong with you? It became super cool to be patriotic. Every musician was doing it, and it just, I mean, I don't know if you remember that. I mean, we banned at all fast food chains, we stopped calling them French fries for probably a decade because they wouldn't get on board with the Iraq war. We called them freedom fries for a long time.
I do remember that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not on board with this, get away from me. You know what I mean? It just showed, like, how far are you willing to go? Like, we did it for you. You guys can come back and help us right now. And for the people that did, our allies, like, there's an unconventional love there that it's hard to express, especially with the UK guys. Like, we love those dudes. They were great, man. So it was cool. It was interesting. Yeah, a huge amount of patriotism after that first pump. At the end of the day, be a pro. If you be a pro in everything you do, it gives you the accountability, it gives you the ownership, and it gives you an opportunity to be the person that people are trying to emulate, people are trying to be like.